Okay, today is my post-workout meal, so a little extra boring, my favorite. Ate 7 ounces of rice, cooked weight, and 10 ounces of 96.4 green beef, ground beef. It's not green, thankfully. Today was leg day, so I have no idea why I'm flexing my arms other than for a thirst trap thumbnail or something. Uh, Yeah, so this is not my first meal after my workout. As soon as I get home after the gym, I have a whey isolate shake and fruit, pineapple, lately. And then I wait an hour and a half and then some real food. Got some soy sauce. I also have hot sauce on the side. We'll see which really hits the spot. Okay. I mean, the ground beef is dry. What do you expect from 96.4? Yesterday was glutes and hamstrings. Honestly, I love training legs, but my hamstring days lately just haven't been quite as satisfying. The workouts themselves have been good, the numbers have been good. Now, I feel things really well during the exercise, but I just don't get the pump like I want to. If one likes a glute pump, right? Now that I'm pushing my weight up a little harder, I'm planning on pushing a little heavier weights in the gym, deliberately shifting a little bit from dropping, I don't want to say dropping volume, but focusing a little bit more on hitting some, sets in the 4 to 6 rep range. But this week, I'm just letting myself transition into it. I'm not going to jump straight from mostly doing sets of 12 to 15 to, a set of 4 on RDLs. So I did sets of 15 with 315 for my for my Romanians today. And I think it'd be a lot of fun to, you know, work up to sets of 6 or so with 415 by the end of this bulk. Maybe a little higher. We'll see. But generally, I like 1 or 2 heavier exercises at the beginning, and then as we get later into the workout, doing more uh, drop sets, burnout sets, some forced reps, that sort of thing. And I've been having pretty good results with it. Training with a partner makes doing drop sets and forced reps are basically impossible without a partner. So it makes things a lot easier. And if there's anything I want to grow, it's some tree trunk legs. I feel like I have a pretty respectable squat for my weight and gender, but the legs have never really reflected that. And honestly, I've had the most leg growth taking the priority off of standard barbell back squats and focusing more on saving the heavy compound movements for my hamstrings and focusing more on things like hack squats and Smith squats and leg extension drop sets, which is a shame because I want to get in that Tom Platz, let's do some heavy sets of squats until we die mindset. But I'm trying to go where I see the growth, see what I respond to the best, because I'm tired of being small. It's so hard to get an accurate self-representation or self-image of what I look like. I'm never sure if some of that is just me personally coming from, like, going directly from being anorexic to starting to lift. Like, is that the reason why I can't figure out how others see me? Or is it just an innate lifter thing? Or maybe an innate bodybuilder thing? I mean, I'm not a bodybuilder yet, but that's what I'm aspiring to be. So maybe I've already acquired the correct neuroses. As much as bodybuilding is almost fundamentally an artistic pursuit, you know, like Arnold talks about, your body's the clay and your workouts are the chisel sort of thing. You're creating your own sculpture, your own masterpiece. But I've just never had the artistic eye. I can't tell anything. You know, I know what I like. I know what I think looks good. I don't have the eye to really point some of those details. Just like today, I was going to record some of my workout. I don't really have any aspirations to be some big gym influencer carrying around a tripod all the time. But my training partner offered to record a few sets for me. But I don't know what angles are good. I don't know where to find good lighting in the gym. It's just, I, I don't look big when I take videos, but I've had people tell me, it's all about the angle. It's about the lighting. You'll look big if you're in this lighting and you record from this angle. But is it bad that I just want to be big enough that I look big no matter what? Like, maybe that's not a realistic goal, but there's going to be a point where you don't need angles and lighting and everything to look good. You're going to be big enough that you stand up. Like, obviously, everyone will always look better with good lighting and good tan and good pump. But I'm so bad at that. My thought process is just let me put all my focus on getting bigger. I'm not going to worry about trying to learn my angles or where in my gym has the most anabolic lighting. I'm just going to focus on getting bigger. And eventually, my pictures will stop looking like shit. And I appreciate the people in my life that tell me I look big at the moment. But if you think you look big, are you going to train as hard as if you think you're small? Sometimes I think that little bit of body dysmorphia almost works in your favor. So I do hate the application of the word I hate how frequently used the term body dysmorphia is in the fitness sphere. Like, it's a serious mental condition. We shouldn't just be throwing it around. I don't have body dysmorphia because I think I look small. I think I look small because I know what big people look like. Does that make any sense? Everyone's out here saying, oh, I thought I looked bad today. It's that body dysmorphia kicking in. No? Have you ever considered that you do actually just look like shit? Maybe you don't look bad by societal standards. Or, I mean, really, who cares about societal standards? But maybe you don't look bad to your mom and dad or your best friend. But if you have goals that are judged on a different level, if you have bodybuilding goals, then your mom thinking you look good is not relevant. You should hold yourself up to the bodybuilding standard. It's just like when I powerlifted. And I'd have friends, I know people that call themselves competitive powerlifters, breaking out the Frank's Red Hot, uh, call themselves competitive powerlifters, but then also in the same breath say they're so strong because they're stronger than 70% of the general population. Well, I hate to break it to you, but 70% of the general population doesn't do strength training. So why are you comparing yourself to people with different goals, different standards that don't even work to achieve what you're working to achieve? Everything's relative and you need a win where you can get it, I guess, but just think people have pretty low standards for themselves. My dog has given up on begging me. Early in the day, he's very attentive. He sits right by my side whenever I'm eating, just waiting for something to drop. But if he doesn't get success by like meal 4 or meal 5, he just gives up, which I do appreciate. I try pretty hard to avoid concrete number goals now that I'm focusing on my physique. Like a specific number for this bulk isn't going to do me any good. Chasing the scale to only end up getting fat isn't useful. So you can have a number in mind, but you have to pay attention to the mirror and how you feel. Because 200 can look different from person to person to person. And if you're a bodybuilder trying to bulk, there's an acceptable level of fat to get. And you need to look in the mirror to figure out what that is. But that being said, it's fun to set some strength goals for myself going into this new training block. Obviously, I've been in a calorie surplus for a little bit now. Now that we're pushing the bulk a little harder and we're dropping some reps and just going a little heavier and more intense on some of my first exercises, it's hard not to say, now that I haven't done incline dumbbell press in a long while. We're going to add that back in. It's hard for me not to go, I'm going to hit 100 pounds, like per hand for incline dumbbell this year. Because I'm a number person, okay? It's fun. It's fun to have a concrete number and say, nice, a nice round number so you can see the, concrete improvements. But the problem is whenever you're trying to build muscle, of course you need progressive overload. You need to be doing more stimulus than you were before. But sometimes the stimulus of heavy weights, if you're not doing the reps as strictly, if you're not pausing them as long, then maybe you're not getting quite as much work, as much total muscular work as you did with the lower weight that you had with the stricter form, with the longer pause, that sort of thing. More reps sometimes is better than the heavier weights. It all depends. But God, I just I love heavy weights. So like 100 pound on incline dumbbell. Okay, so my gym, I absolutely love my gym. I go to it's an old school. It's just called Bodybuilders Inc. And I'll be honest, I don't mean bodybuilders used to be a really hardcore gym in like the 80s. The problem is they never got any new members. I swear the average age of the member there is like 55 on a good day. This summer there's been a few new, teenage guys showing up, maybe early 20s. But in general, most of the folks that go there are retired. They did train seriously, but they still train seriously for their age, but they're not pushing things quite as heavy as they used to. The exception being the gym owner, Fred. I love this dude to death. We train together sometimes. Uh, he's a fucking beast. He's 64 and he leaves me in the dust. I aspire for my longevity to be nearly as good as his because he's still a big boy. Oh man, I love Fred. But anyway, so some of the heavier weights, they're a little dusty. People haven't touched them for a bit. And the dumbbells there, it's a hodgepodge collection of dumbbells. There's so many repeats randomly. They've got at least, one dumbbell going up to 200 pounds, but some of them you've got 6 sets, some of them you've got just one pair, and there's no rhyme or reason. I love it. But those 200 pounders, I don't know if I've seen anyone use them since I started going to this gym. And I can pretty comfortably dumbbell row 160s right now for sets of like 6 to 8. To be fair, I am a big proponent of a little torso movement on dumbbell rows. I feel like it actually does cause a little bit more lower lat activation, and I'll do strict back movements on other movements. But so, pretty good reps, but with a little bit of like croc row style. But I'm just looking at those 200s. God damn. That would be great, And then once I get up to the 200s, we're not going much heavier than that, right? Since that's the heaviest dumbbells we've got. So then we can start, really slowing them down, doing paused reps, drop sets, all that stuff. But I keep eyeing them every time I go in the gym. I look at those. People like put shit on top of them. Like that's where people store the little medicine balls, just right on top of the 200s. I'm like, I need to give them some use. I don't know. But everything else, those are really my only incline dumbbell rows, and RDLs. Really the only thing I have numbers I'm fixated on, because in general I really do try and just focus on getting the best workout I can for my goals. And right now, that means not focusing on the weight. My legs didn't grow when I powerlifted, as much as that sucks, just admit. Or at least they didn't grow in line with my strength. Uh, in general, in the gym, I don't give a fuck what anyone's doing. I really don't care. But I train better when I'm surrounded by people also training hard. And I appreciate so many of these. They're probably going to get offended that I call them the old guys. But I really appreciate all the old guys, all the experience they have, all the good advice they can give. But sometimes I'm like, man, I need to find a way to get some younger competitors in the gym. Because hard training begets hard training. If you're ever not feeling your workout and you look up and you see another person just going balls to the wall, that gives you a good kick in the pants. If you're feeling a little, it's not your day, and you look around and everyone's just a Silver Sneaker Club chatting, sure, I am going to do my best to do my best every time, no matter what. But people can talk about internal motivation and discipline as much as they want. There is an extra gear to your training when you are surrounded by people with similar goals as you. Actually, I train with Fred tomorrow. Thursdays, I always do 2 training sessions. I wouldn't encourage people to do that, but with my schedule right now, it's the best way I can get the volume I need in for shoulders without neglecting some more lat specific work. Of course, I could train them in the same session, but I train with Fred, the owner of my gym, shoulders on Thursdays. And I'm training his workout. So, I mean, he'd probably do back with me too if I asked him, but I'm just there to ride the high, steal all of his secrets, and eventually have bigger shoulders than him. So then I come back in the evening to train with my normal training partner, my coach, uh, and we'll hit. We're going to do chest and lats. Abs. I'm convinced everyone has at least one, body part they just hate training. I think for most people it's calves. I kind of like calves, mostly because I think I have decent calf genetics. It's easy to enjoy working on things where you see the results. I personally hate training abs. Can't stand it, but I can tell a huge visual difference in a week if I'm training abs or not. I'm not saying that I'm growing, deeper abs or thicker abs or burning abdominal fat in that week, but I think the additional stimulation of the muscle probably makes it hold a little more water, so it's a little fuller, so you can see it through your stomach fat better. And over time, yeah, you're going to build thicker abdominals, and that will make them more visible at higher body fats. I have a pretty wide waist just with my build. I have pretty narrow hips for a woman and a pretty wide waist, which is not the best combo for life or for bodybuilding. But so I don't train obliques much. All my powerlifting really, it worked them well. Once I get lean, they're my most visible part of my abdominals. Uh, and things like heavy crock rows, honestly, really works like obliques. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I truly believe almost any heavy unilateral movement will train your obliques because they have to work to stabilize you. So I don't train obliques directly. I'll only do, 6-pack sort of exercises, hanging leg raises, dead bugs, deep incline, decline crunches, that sort of thing. The basics. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I have a wide enough waist that it's not going to get narrower. So I want some like nice hamburger bun abs. You know what I'm talking about? Like a fucking like 3D bricks running down. Because if the waist's already there, you might as well at least throw the abs on there to give you something good to look at. But yeah, so I despise training abs. It is the only thing I only body part I've ever had trouble with convincing myself to train. So having my training partner there to call me on my bullshit, pretty helpful. I am so tired, but I have another meal to eat after this, and I am legitimately considering taking a nap and then waking up to eat my last meal. You watch this. Let me know in the comments, 1 to 10, how dumb of an idea you think that is. I mean, probably pretty dumb, but sleep is important. But I'm not missing a meal. And I need to grow. Almost left a few pieces behind. Okay. I don't know if anyone watched this, but if you did, thank you. I am going to take a nap. See ya.